Hello, I've been asked to try to show you how I make some of my vintage tags, and because they're really fickle about putting the laces on, I went ahead and set up the way that I want to be able to sew it down. So I'm going to show you this. This is what my tag looks like. This is the part where I'm going to be putting the lace. It's just where I take all of my little snippets of leftover coffee dyed papers, and I don't worry about what it looks like because it's mainly just for color, for to go underneath all the laces that I use. And then this is the back side where I'd have a decorative paper on the back. Anyway, that's the card that's underneath these laces right here. And mainly what I wanted you to be able to see is that I always get a piece of lace that's bigger than what my card is, because if you don't make it really big, then you aren't able to hold the laces down to keep it from gathering up and tearing and bundling and not looking nice. And then I decide where I want to put my other decorative pieces in. This piece right here, because this is going to be my main focal point on it, I also try to make sure I have a large enough piece that's intact so that whenever I do sew it down, I do have things to hold on to try to keep it in place. And then I cut the tag after I get everything sewed down. Then I cut the tag down. One of the other things that I make sure of is down here at the bottom. See, when I cut this tag out, I'm really going to cut these parts right here off. And I also need to make sure that I have something that's going to ground my tag. So I'm going to sew across the top up here first, and that grounds this pink lace up here and this piece. And then I'll start up here and I'll try to stitch. There's a tag up here at the top, and I'll try to just stitch across the top that kind of grounds that down. And then I'll flip all of this over and I'll actually stitch all the way around the tag afterwards. Now, unfortunately, the way my camera and everything is set up, I'm not sure that that you'll get all this on camera. I'm going to try, because the actual lens part of what you can see with the camera is on the opposite side of my sewing machine, and the stand is kind of around my chair, so I'm afraid I'm going to be doing a lot of bumping. But I'm going to try and get as much of what I just said for you to see as I can. So I'm going to kind of move it over here where it's closer to my where I'm actually going to sew. And I use a zigzag stitch in my machine I use it like at 3.5, so I don't run it real small, because then if you get it too small, then you'll actually cause a tear to go on in the tag. You want it big enough to where you're not going to make like a dotted line where your tag will tear. You make it where it's not too big, to where it's real obvious, but not too small to tear the tag. I try to feel right here where that's the top of my tag. See, that kind of makes it stable. I hope I got this in front. It makes it kind of stable across up here at the top and stable down here at the bottom, so that you can flip all of this over. And then I'll cut the tag out all the way around. I'm sorry for the bumps. I try to just cut up in this area, coming from this side, because I want to be able to cut the focal point laces from the front. I hope I'm in frame. Maybe if I walk around to the other side, I can see it, see whether or not I'm in frame or not. Okay, and from here sometimes I put other laces, other decorative things. I gotta get all my strings off, cut all my strings off too. I'll add like a decorative lace across here, flowers, or a flower part right in here. And anyway, but this is how I get most of my pieces from my vintage pieces all laid down. Because if I found that if I didn't make sometimes it feels like it's a waste, but unfortunately I don't think it's that way, because I take these little pieces like this and I'll make smaller tags with them, so nothing gets thrown away in my house. Nothing. I even have a little Folgers can over there by my sewing machine on the other side that I put little snippets in, and I make snippet rolls, and then I'll use those to even go on smaller tags. So, but anyway, I hope you were able to see what I was doing and kind of understand what I'm trying to explain to do, because believe me, I've made quite a few of these, and I have learned that to quit trying to be frugal whenever I'm trying to make these really pretty ones, and I want focal areas on them, and cut them out and then use all my leftovers for smaller tags and things. So anyway, well, thank you for watching.